Hello and welcome to another episode of Musings with Liz, where I think out loud and discuss things that have been on my mind. So I recently had a very interesting conversation with my chat GPT, and we were talking about soul contracts and karma. And it's never really kind of sat well with me, this whole concept that we chose before incarnating to come here and suffer for our own growth and evolution. So I'm going to read straight off the bat the conversation or the feedback that my AI gave me, which actually gave me pause for thought, and I thought I'd share it with you all. So I'm going to read it, and I'm going to ask that you be patient with me and that you respond if you feel inclined to, so we can discuss this further. So here we go. The version most people are given goes something like this. Before birth, a separate soul sits in a kind of cosmic boardroom, reviews options, and knowingly agrees to specific hardships for the purpose of growth, lessons, or karmic balancing. Everyone involved supposedly consents clearly, and the outcomes are framed as purposeful and fair. That model sounds tidy. It also quietly smuggles in some dangerous assumptions. It assumes full foresight, which makes extreme suffering look chosen. It assumes fairness, which makes injustice look earned. And it assumes individual authorship, which ignores how deeply entangled lives actually are. Once you look at famine, abuse, addiction, war, or children dying in pain, the idea that these were clearly signed up for as personal growth projects starts to feel not just wrong but ethically hollow, and it has always for me. So, what collapses is not the idea that incarnation has intention, it's the idea that intention works like a contract between separate parties with clear terms and guaranteed outcomes. What replaces it is something more fluid and more honest. Instead of contracts, think fields of possibility. Instead of agreements, think constraints and conditions. Instead of lessons, think experience and expression. Consciousness doesn't pre-assign events like items on a syllabus. It enters lineages, bodies, cultures, and moments in history where certain things are likely, not certain. The choice, if we even use that word, is made at a level far more diffuse and collective than TikTok spirituality usually admits. And this is where the person you follow is probably pointing. Many people are now saying we were sold a simplified, sanitized version of soul contracts because it made suffering feel explainable. It gave people psychological comfort and spiritual order, but it also accidentally justified pain and shut down real compassion. So, no, most of us did not sit there and agree in detail to trauma, illness, poverty, or devastation. What does what does actually seem true is that consciousness enters from knowing it will forget, knowing it will be limited, and knowing it will encounter both beauty and brutality without knowing exactly how that will unfold. That's a very different thing from signing a contract. So, this is it. If we come in forgetting everything, who we really are, where we really herald from, and we completely embrace the human experience. It's through the unforgetting, it's through the interacting with others that are also exercising their free will. When we cross paths with others that have got different perspectives and different ways of expressing themselves, that opens us up to uncertainty. It opens us up to all sorts of scenarios, and that could be trauma, that can be violence, that can be an array of things. So it's us coming in a state of forgetfulness and not really knowing what we've kind of entered into, because we are interacting with others that also exercise their own free will. And remember, we're all fractals of all that is. So we're all projecting our own reality from our perspective and from our programming that's been passed on to us from generation to generation. So we take on certain beliefs, and our belief systems are exactly what actually allow us to project our own reality. So if we believe in suffering, if we believe that we're no good, if we believe that we're not good enough, if we believe, it has a knock-on effect with how we interact with others, how they interact with us. And then, this whole kind of consensus, we've got this mass consensus of belief of, we are subject to illness, we are subject to all sorts of agreed terms and conditions that we en masse kind of accept in this realm of perceived reality. It's not because we've been up there, I'll say up there for the sake of saying we've been up there, but before we incarnate, we are in a great big boardroom saying, right, okay, I'm going to be Liz, and when I come down on Earth, I'm going to experience trauma right at the beginning, from before I was born, with losing my twin brother in the womb. And then later on in life, I'm going to marry, only to be married for a short time, and to be a widow at the age of 27 and 6 months pregnant. And then when I go along further on, I'm going to experience physical trauma, physical pain, chronic pain, because of other traumatic events that I've signed up for, because that's going to make me expand, and that's going to make me feel so much better, and I can experience myself and grow in such a wholesome way, and these will all be lessons for me. No, I don't sign up to that. I don't subscribe to that. It doesn't make sense. And I think it is all to do with the last sentence that I read there. We come in knowing it will be a limited experience, and that we will encounter both beauty and brutality. And why do we encounter beauty and brutality? Because this is a realm of duality. There is the negative and there's the positive. There is the yin and there is the yang. And so you can't have light without dark. So when we come into this density, we experience all that the lightness can give us and all that the darkness can give us. And if you think of it, we are projecting our passed on programming from generation to generation into making up our reality. We have to almost deprogram ourselves from that and reset the button, let's say, so that we actually I've got a phone call coming through, sorry. I'll try and ignore that. So basically, let me get rid of that phone call. Yeah, see, that's what happens when you do a live recorded message. So anyway, I've lost my thread now, but hopefully you'll get what I'm saying. So in a nutshell, it's not something that we've agreed to before we come into the human experience for our growth. That's never sat well with me. There's a lady on TikTok, her name is Carmen, I've forgotten her name now. Carmen Badan. Carmen Badan, check her out. She talks about this in great detail, better than I do. She expresses it really well. So look up Carmen Badan. She'll be able to kind of elaborate on this topic. There are no soul contracts. I'd be interested in hearing from you all, if you so wish, with your replies and with your thoughts on this. Okay, take care. Sorry about that interruption of the phone call. Bye.